On the first second of being live.
Oh, I wish the sound effects would have been on it though. Oh, the sound effects were amazing.
Yep. Well, hi and welcome everybody. This is a totally new show. We are no longer with the laws of life as of this week. So we are no longer the laws of community. We do not own the rights to the laws of. That is patented by Blanca and the laws of community or the laws of life. So we are now going to potentially transition into the name Community Fundamentals. Hanna had said that she likes it. It kind of goes with Oasis Fundamentals as well. So, it's and the fundamentals of community is what we talk about every week. We talk about the fundamentals of community, what it means to be a part of one, all the different aspects of it. So, without further ado, I'm Ronald J. Raymond, and this is my beautiful co-host, Hanna Sumrall.
Hola, that's me.
And today it is the week of self-love or not self-love, sorry, self-empowerment and empowering others. She was talking about switching up the weeks a little bit and kind of
I think
potentially,
we just do free for all, yeah.
yeah, kind of free for all, but each segment could be like, the self-love and self-empowerment kind of put together because self-empowering and empowering others, it comes with self-love. Um, but yeah, so today we have a guest who is here to talk about a lot of self-empowerment, um, in order to like different levels of self-empowerment, basically the ways to figure out how to empower yourself, um, more on a spiritual level too. We've talked a lot of physical empowerment, um, and we've talked about some spiritual empowerment, but I feel like today we're gonna have a good segment about what it means to empower yourself spiritually and on a heightened level. You have anything you want to add, Hannah, and kind of introduce more about what our guests will be talking about?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think it's just gonna be whatever comes up, like it is most of the time. But yeah, she does a lot with spirituality and those sort of things. And honestly, I'm just interested to see what she has to say. Courage is excited. He's very happy now he's gotten that poop out. Um, I hate to, but I might have to leave you with the guest for a minute to go tend to him. That way, he doesn't have to just sit here the whole time. Even though you're so happy now. Yes, you're so happy now.
But if you want to put up the graphic then for our guest.
Oh my goodness. Did I get the graphic? I don't think I got the graphic.
Oh, did you get the graphic?
This is the one that I failed. I remember the other one, but I didn't remember this. Give me just 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh wait, it's probably not even gonna work correctly. Yeah, see, preparation is key.
Preparation is key, and it's a little difficult now that we're powered by ourselves. And sorry, I keep putting my finger
Yeah, it's a
trying to look.
beautiful finger. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna look. It's not gonna look great. Hold on. Okay, I got this. We'll just show it for a minute because I don't think I can. I don't know. It's gonna look weird if I do it just like that.
Here we go with Nicole Starbuck, Oracle Academy. Welcome, Nicole, and thank you for being here with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So to start off, what would you say it is that you do specifically with empowering others with spirituality, and what is it that you have to offer for our audience?
Yes, thank you. So I am a psychic empath, quantum energy healer, spiritual mentor, and life coach. And what I do is I show people how to tune into their intuition and use and develop their spiritual gifts and abilities to create their dream life. So we look specifically at where are you now? Where would you like to be? What's the slow moving energy or resistance as to why you're not already there? You don't already have that yet. And then we take a look and we identify the root causes. So typically, most things originate in early childhood, most likely with some sort of parent or parental figure. Or we can also take a look at past lives, karmic contracts, and also the ancestral line on the maternal and paternal lines to take a look at where these slow moving energies are coming from. And then we use different healing modalities such as guided meditation, hypnosis, Reiki, light language to help shift and clear that so that you can bring that ideal reality into your physical reality in the here and now.
Oh, that's awesome. So basically, uh, you help kind of pinpoint what it is that people need to fix then, within themselves, and really help work that out of them, or work in the positive energy while they're focusing. They're actually able to focus on that pinpoint.
Exactly. Yes. And when we say fix, I just want everyone to understand it's not that you're broken, but that we are striving towards this higher self. And that higher self is the version of you that already has and is and does all the things. And I truly believe that that's already there inside of you now. It's not something outside of you that you have to chase necessarily, but that it's just this unfolding and remembering of who you already are at a soul level.
Hmm. Sorry, there's a fly right here trying to land on my face.
Hey, flies are
Um,
spirit animals too.
yep. Which is kind of funny to think, because I've had I don't know if it's, I don't know exactly what kind of bug it is, but I've had this one specific bug that just, like, it's a type of beetle that it's almost like a stink bug, but it's come up to me so many different times. Like, I've had them just pop up out of nowhere and just, like, crawl up on me.
Yeah,
Like, I just
next time you see one, just take a moment and disconnect from what's happening around you and ask the beetle what it's trying to show you. That's
well, the funny
a
thing
little
is the
lesson.
first time I had that experience, I was in Ventura, and Ventura, California, and I had one crawl up on me, and that's what my friends said. They told me to kind of pay attention to it, and I put it down on a log, and it just kind of, like, I walked around the log, and it just watched me the whole time. And then when I was like, okay, bye, finally it flew off. I was surprised. Um, but yeah, so uh, what what would you say is the first kind of step to realizing the pinpoint, that people need to work on? What is it that you might do in order to really kind of self-evaluate before you go to talk to someone like you, to be able to actually communicate it?
Mm. Yeah, I think even just reaching out to someone such as myself is a huge first step in recognizing that there is something else that you want and desire for your life and that you believe that you are worthy of it. Because so many of us are living our lives going about the day-to-day routine, not thinking or believing that there's anything else, or that if we do we believe in something else, we don't know that necessarily we deserve it. We think that we're lacking or somehow not enough, and so we don't go for it. I know a lot of us see that like in our parents in the older generation of, their traditional routine was go to school, get good grades, get a good job, everything's going to be fine, but they didn't actually live out their soul's mission and life purpose. And so a lot of what I do in my world is actually show people how to tune into what is your soul's mission and life purpose? What are you here for? Because I know for me personally, I first discovered my spiritual gift and ability, which is psychic intuition. And I believe every single one of us is psychic. It's just that over time and through social conditioning, we lose touch with our own innate wisdom. We've been taught, we've been told that we can't trust ourselves. It's all in our head, that you're making stuff up, right? And so we question and we doubt. And this leads to second guessing, overthinking, overwhelm, stress, anxiety. And so what I show people is how to disconnect from all of that energy and entities that they're plugging into, things like their parents, their past, their partners, their romantic relationships, their kids, their TV, the news, the media, the social media, their religion, school systems, politics, all of this stuff. We disconnect from that. And we actually tune back into the soul, bringing awareness back to the body, which is a giant walking divination rod for knowing true from false. And then we get to understand what is your soul's mission. And we can find that out by looking at the question of what lights your soul on fire. What
Hmm.
does your soul most long for? And this is a really powerful question because so many of us don't actually ask for what we want or need. We're just going about our day to day, like getting things done, marking stuff off our to do list, but we're not actually asking our soul what it wants, what it needs. And so often it goes back again to childhood. What did you used to do before somebody stepped in and told you, hey, that's not realistic, that's not practical, you need to get a real job, that's not how you make money, why don't you go be a doctor, blah, 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 right? Like I
Yep.
remember being in kindergarten, they had us do these little worksheets where we color in what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I picked artist. And so they had a little artist and I'm coloring it in. They're like, oh, don't you want to be a doctor or a fire person? Like, why would you have artists if that wasn't an option for me? Right? And
Yeah,
so for
well,
real.
that's one thing too. You know, there's so many industries or so many different you know, things that people want to go into, or they love, and they see all these very successful people in, you know, and there's so many. We're told as kids that, you know, the starving artist, but look at Hollywood. Look at how many people are working movies and shows and like different things. That's art. I mean, a lot of those people go into like audition. I was a drama kid in high school, and you know, like there were so many kids, you know, so many people. I'd be hearing stories about, you know, how many auditions people have to go to. Like I'd be watching these audition films and stuff like that, and like there's people that would go to an audition, 5 different auditions or whatever in just a few days, and you know, only be told to maybe come back to one of them and still not even get the audition. But then they would go to one more and they'd have it, you know. And it's just it's with that repetition. It's just like any business, any industry, anything, you know. You really gotta put yourself out there. So yeah, don't let the naysayers come in and just blow your energy up, you know. Let yourself kind of take that step back and go, this is what I really want to do. I don't care if somebody thinks I'm going to be a starving artist. I'm an artist, you know. Let me
Yeah.
go and make my money. Let me go and make my bread and feed my family, you know. That's one thing I've tried to get my brother to understand, because he's kind of lived the mentality and the thought process of being a starving artist because of just the surroundings, like lack of support growing up. You know, he didn't have the right support for his skill, and he even went to the Art Institute of Portland and everything. And you know, like he's one of the best artists I know, and he's worth every bit of his art, every bit of what he does. He, you know, he's been starting to finally make a little bit more because he's actually taken a step back and going, you know, maybe I really love my art. Maybe I need to start doing my art again. Maybe I should just do what I love, you know? So I love what you just said, because it's just it hits a powerful note for me in my life and the people that I know. So
Oh, ooh, I feel that very intensely also because I mentioned artist as a kindergartner, but also that's what I went to school for. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in drawing and painting. And I haven't practiced painting in many years, but I still love to make and create art in many other ways, including the courses and programs and offers that I have, and taking photography for my social media, and just in the way that I show up and find creative solutions to problems. But I also do feel that call to get back into art. Spirit says, hey, it's time to make and create again. Let's get out our collage materials and start making soul portraits, and it's like the part of me is like, oh, but like, how do you make money doing that? But it's also like, you didn't think you could make money doing coaching, and yet here we are. So I mean, let that be a testament too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's something, like, speaking of right now, I could see Hannah's brain turning right now. She wants to paint some more too now, I bet, after you saying that, because she's she's
Well,
done.
no, I already thought about it the other day. So yes, you're right. Like I was literally like looking at Courage. I was like, I could just strap you on. You can get a few paint flicks on you. It'll be okay.
Yep. And uh you just mentioned your courses and stuff. If you want to kind of elaborate to our audience what it is that you do with your courses, what it is that you offer, and all the different aspects to it.
Yes, I love this. So I love showing people how to ignite their intuition and sharpen their psychic skills. I found that many of the people that were coming to me in my professional psychic reading and healing business were also very sensitive, highly empathic, and very psychic. They just hadn't realized it yet. And so I have a couple of different opportunities for that. One is the psychic school, which will show you step by step how to develop your empathic abilities, really get in tune with your intuition, use your psychic skills to be able to do readings for yourself and others, and also get into the energetics of quantum energy healing. So we have a course for that called the Psychic School. You can find that on my website, oracleacademy.com. And then we also have, for those that are wanting to take their healing abilities, their psychic skills, and bring it into fruition in a tangible form, such as a spiritual-based business, we have the Magnetic Mastermind, which is a way for us to learn step by step what it takes to create not just a business, but a soul-aligned business, one that is fueled and fed by your spirit in alignment with your greatest good and highest potential. So that's just a couple of the offerings that I have right now. And of course, I also do one-on-one private coaching, which takes everything that we learn in these courses and programs and takes it even deeper on a more personal level.
That's awesome. And that's amazing that you offer kind of that wide range of things, because it's I feel like you have a good offering for people who really haven't gotten into it, and maybe haven't gotten into energy or the knowledge of anything surrounding it. You really have a good beginners kind of setup, is what it sounds like. People that really need to like find that learning, find that first step in energy healing, and in figuring out themselves. And I do want to thank take a moment to thank our live viewers, because we have had multiple live viewers come in and pop out. And I just noticed a couple of you were in here for a few minutes, and really appreciate it. And if you are viewing this right now, check out her links. Check out her links and learn more about her, more than what she can share today. I know we only have a certain segment time for her, but go and check out all the information. You'll find out more than what we talk about here today. So, Hannah, do you have any questions for her you would like to ask her?
Um, have you mentioned your Facebook group? Because I absolutely love the Facebook group. It's a really safe place to like kind of exercise all of these things, I feel like.
No, I haven't mentioned it. So thank you for that beautiful reminder. So, as Hannah mentioned, we do also have a Facebook group. It's the only free container that I offer. I also pop into there at least once or twice a month to do these really super juicy live trainings where I talk about everything from psychic intuition to quantum energy healing to manifestation to magic and more. So, as Hannah said, it is a super safe, sacred space for us, for all the mystics and psychics and healers to gather in a way that feels very aligned.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and then also, did you mention the quiz as well? That was my only other question.
Not yet. Thank you. But all the offers out there, yes. I do also have a free quiz which is to help you discover your spiritual superpower. So you will find out your intuitive type, which is the way that you best connect with God, source, the universe, the divine, whatever you like to call that higher power. So you'll discover your primary archetype. And then I also share with you really practical, tangible ways that you can increase and develop that connection so that you can learn to trust your inner wisdom.
Yes, I love it. So for anyone who is not able to watch, that was Conscious Collective for the Facebook group, and then oracleacademy.com/quiz to do the spiritual superpower quiz.
And anybody listening, it's Oracle, AURA.
Yes.
CLE,
Yes.
not OR.
I know, it's a play on words. It's a pun. It's a pun.
Yeah, I just wanted to let anybody out there who might be listening on anything and might not actually be looking at their screen or don't have the chance to. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to ask you a few community questions.
Yeah.
So when it comes to kind of healing a community, what would you say is really your biggest point you can give for someone to if they really want to kind of like heal their community, if they want to go out there and do something to do good, what would you say would be like a good way to start on a personal level, like a spiritual, like what kind of aspects should somebody think about for themselves in order to project that outward?
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful question. And I do a lot of these interviews, but I don't know that I've ever been asked that. And what's coming through is that and you touched on it just now, it starts with you. So what is it that within yourself that is calling for, asking for healing? Again, not that you're broken, but that is asking to be shown, revealed, felt, experienced. And then how are you being called to share that? Because every single one of us has a story to tell. And it's not that you have to have it all figured out and then go tell your story. You can tell your story as you're figuring it out. And what this does is it helps other people to shine a light on themselves and say, hey, if that person can do it, if they're going through it and they're making it, then I can too. And it gives hope. And it gives courage and empowerment. And I'm thinking about something you said earlier, how you were right on the cusp of something. And then it's like the auditions, right? So like one didn't work and the other didn't work and the second, third one and the fourth one and the fifth one. And it's like if you had given up after the fifth one, then you might not have gotten the sixth one. And sometimes it feels like that, where we get to this dark place and we just really just want to give up. And I love this quote. It really helped me in a dark season in my life before I came back into my spiritual gifts. I think I mentioned I discovered them at a young age, but it wasn't until 20 years later that I actually brought them back online and started doing this type of work professionally. And I was in this really dark season and I came across this quote that said, sometimes it feels like you've been buried, but actually you've been planted. And that just like really resonated with me because I was in such a dark place. I was in so much pain. I was an empath before I knew what an empath meant. And I was just feeling everyone's feelings and it was making my body hurt, like every bone in my body hurt. And I just wanted the pain to stop. And I remember very clearly, I was standing in the shower and that was a lot. Like it took a lot of energy for me to get out of bed and take a shower. Like that's all I could do in a day. And Spirit said, don't stop. Keep going. There's purpose in the pain. And I was like, oh my gosh. In that moment, I knew that everything that I was going through, all the stress, anxiety, depression, overwhelm that I had been experiencing as a psychic in the closet was for me to empower other people. that if I could become the best version of myself, I could also show other people how to become the best version of themselves. So that's where I actually got my mission statement, was during this dark time of, I'm here to step into that next level version of me to help other people become the best version of themselves.
That's beautiful. So what I really love is that I love both those quotes. For one, when you said there's progress in the pain, or that's what you
Perfect.
said, right?
Purpose in the pain. Yeah.
Purpose in the pain. And purpose in the pain made me think of there's progress in the pain, or there's, no pain, no progress, no pain, no gain. Because I know, like growing up, it's pinch me, I must be dreaming kind of thing. If you're not feeling a little bit of exhaustion or a little bit of pain or a little bit of, kickback, then there's not really any room to grow. And all of us have room to grow. So if somebody is sitting there saying that there's no pain that they're going through, or there's no room to grow, they're just, a lot of times you're lying to yourself, and you might be hurting those around you without realizing it. And so ultimately, I love that. I love that quote because that's just what it makes me think of. And the other quote, can you remind me what it was again?
Yes, sometimes it feels like you've been buried, but actually you've been planted.
Okay, so when you said that, it brought me back to when I was on the streets and I was traveling, because there were so many times where I'd be sitting there and I'd be, doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing or whatever. I'd be on a higher level, let's just say. And um I definitely would catch myself sitting there and kind of looking around and going, wow, I'm I'm here. I'm really just here. And there's been so many times I've heard people talk about, like, once you realize that time is kind of just inexistent, and that it's all about here and now. The past, it already happened, and the future doesn't exist. It's all about here and now. And it's because the future's even here and now. You everything you think about, everything you do, you have to think about what you're doing in the moment in order to get to where you're going, or you got to think about what you're doing in the moment to really reflect on the past even. And so being planted instead of buried, you're not you're not buried by the past, you're not buried by the future with all these things. You're right in the right position, and all you need to do is really just feed yourself that sunlight or that water, give yourself that nutrients and that self-love, and let yourself grow. And I'd say that it took me to go through some really tough times on the streets to really recognize that, to really grasp that. Because there were some moments where I felt like I took the advantage that I could, and once I got stuck in those hard moments, it was just a second to really take a breath in order to realize where I was and what I needed to do. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing those quotes.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, well, and then I have another question for you. What what would you say is the one thing that really makes or breaks a community?
Ooh, you ask all the good questions here.
He's
Having what?
What would,
he's
what
very
would
good with words.
help the flow or sever the flow of energy in a community?
Yeah, no. I love this question. So, as someone that has hosted various communities and also been a part of different communities, a really big part of that is the intention behind the container, especially of whoever is either creating it or facilitating it, because sometimes we make something and step away and someone else facilitates. But it's really the energy around, why am I creating this container? And then on the other end is, why am I stepping into this container as a participant if I'm not the one creating it? And that's actually one of the things I mentioned in the description for my community is, who is it for? Why am I creating this, right? And it's a sacred space for coaches, artists, mystics, healers, psychics, witches to come and gather and be themselves, right? And then it's also one of the questions that I ask when someone joins. Why are you drawn to this group? What's bringing you here? What's your intention for joining? And it's not like I'm going to decline someone if they have a certain type of answer. There's no right or wrong. There's only what's true for you. But it's just to create that sort of energetic accountability of, this is a space where we're actually showing up and setting an intention. And I've also been a part of communities, not as a host, but as a participant, where there isn't any sort of intention behind it, and you can sense that, and there's no juice there. And my heart's desire is to create a space where there is joy, there is love, there is passion. And it's one of the ways that I'm being called to step up and show up and serve more and more, is to add more value to the people that are in the group. Because as we learn and grow together, we all rise and we raise the vibration, not only in our own lives, but in the people's lives that we're a part of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a beautiful answer, because intention, that was something that, I honestly wasn't going to expect to hear, and it's probably something that is probably one of the most important parts to a community, because you have to really have the right intentions in order to keep a community going, to structure it, to foundation it, and to be able to have people in it that actually feel welcome, and to truly have the right intentions back to you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Morningstar, for commenting, by the way. Thank you for interacting with us. Said whoever Morningstar is, said Starbucks and star charts is kind of catchy.
That's cute.
Um,
That'll
yeah,
be something for when I'm better versed in astrology. I'm still a baby when it comes to studying astrology. For being a psychic, it is not my strong suit, but I appreciate that. Maybe you're channeling a future timeline for me.
that's awesome. Yes, I love that. Building community on the community show. um, so I have one more question, and what would you say is the one thing that okay,
You're channeling your guides. Tune in.
what is the one thing that truly um what makes okay, away from you, kind of away from community, but more towards you and your community, I guess. What was that driving force behind your decision to make your community, rather than
Oh,
be a part of other communities that have the same sort of ideals?
I know. Oh, this is so good. Okay. So when I was stepping into this year, 2023, I had call it a board meeting, if you will, but I had a meeting with my guides. It's January 1st, right? And I said, how would you like for me to show up? And the words that came through were expansion, connection, community. I said, great, these are wonderful words. I love these. These resonate. What are the ways that that's going to come through? And it showed me 3 things. And then it said a 4th one's coming, but we're not going to tell you what that is yet. And I said, okay, fine. So the 3 things that came through were a monthly membership, psychic school, and the mastermind. These 3 things. I didn't mention the membership, but that's also a very powerful tool that I have. But these 3 things have all come to fruition as of now. And then I got to about halfway through the year, and Spirit said, it's time to start a Facebook community. And I had one before in the past, and it wasn't aligned anymore. And this is where I didn't quite get to the conversation with intention, is that when it's no longer in alignment, it's okay to let things go. And I was just in a place where that particular circle I was hosting was not in alignment, and I closed it down, and that's okay. And I got to be about halfway through this year, and Spirit said it's time to start a Facebook group. And I'm a person that argues with Spirit, even though Spirit's always right. And so I'm like, why would I go on Facebook? I don't even like Facebook. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, it's time. It's time to show up. And so I started this Facebook group, and we grew by like hundreds of people in just a few weeks, and now we have almost 1,000 members. And the people that are stepping up and showing up in their own timing, it's really amazing. Like people that haven't had any interaction with me, like I didn't even think they were active in the group, have left 0 comments or likes or hearts or anything. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, I just signed up for psychic school. Hey, I just signed up for your mastermind. And I'm like, I didn't even know you were in here, but I love that you're here. Thank you for being here. So really for me, to answer your question in a more succinct way, I got the call from Spirit. I didn't quite know what that was going to look like. It just said community. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. But then later it says, okay, Facebook group. I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And then it just unfolds and unfolds. And that's the beauty of tuning into your intuition, is it gets to lead to really beautiful destinations, even if you don't know what that is yet when you're first stepping out.
That's beautiful. That was inspirational right there, because it just made me, it inspired me to want to make my own Facebook community now.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a, beautiful step, especially with us transitioning with our own production of this. Oh, and Morning Star said, only numerology offers a life path reading that is rather simple yet effective. It's a number that means many things. Astrology and palmistry have many aspects that point to characteristic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Morningstar also said everyone that studies occult sciences also drinks gallons of coffee. I actually switched off coffee to mushroom coffee, and I can sleep like a baby now. I was not sleeping well, partially because my spirit travels while I'm sleeping. But yeah, I agree. Tea and coffee. I drink a lot of herbal tea now. I've lately been drinking blue lotus tea, which helps heighten and enhance psychic intuition.
That sounds good. Yeah, I'm definitely I do that. Not as much, especially with the pregnancy. I had to back off the caffeine, but I went to the teas that I could drink and things like that, and now I'm back to my coffee. So yeah, definitely I do that. I drink too much coffee.
Oh,
Yeah, you might try mushroom coffee.
I have some here. I need to try it. I was scared to during the pregnancy, but I need to.
Yeah.
See, I've been really wondering about the mushroom coffee myself, because I've had a lot of ads for the brand Mudwater that pop up all over the place. And
I haven't used them. I heard some feedback about them, but I have Rasa, and I swear by it. And if anyone wants the affiliate code for that,
Rasa?
happy to share it. Yeah, RASA, Rasa.
Okay, I'll have to look into it. Yeah, it's crazy, because I've been seeing a lot more mushroom ads for like a lot of different things. Not just even that, like just so many foragers popping up on my feed and stuff for like talking about different like ones that you can eat and use for different body stimulants or different healings of different sorts, and it's amazing. It's amazing to find out what all they can do, because for so many, I've
I think it's amazing when we set an intention and now the ads are reading our minds. We don't even say anything and it's just serving us ads for what we were thinking about. Isn't that like, I mean, okay, like you want to get into some stuff, we could start talking about like the matrix and the hologram and it's all the simulation, because I don't know how else you explain that.
Yes, I agree. It's really creepy.
Well, the way I can explain it is I don't want to get all conspiracy theorist and crazy basically, but I mean, the military, the government, they've all declassified it since like forever now, that they utilize like different waves and frequencies and stuff. I'm sure the big tech companies have found a way to do it in their algorithms, through our smartphones and stuff. I'm sure they send a signal that bounces back and forth from our brains and goes, you know,
Yeah, I
that's,
mean, wasn't there that emergency test they did last week? Like,
yeah. Um, Again,
not to derail your conversation,
once
but
again, not to make our segment about conspiracy theories or anything. Um, I do that because, I don't think they're just theories, a lot of these ones. But yeah, no, it's I truly see there's a lot of with I'd say with the technological advancements, there's a lot of really interesting things that are happening, and one of which that kind of touches on spiritual stuff that I saw earlier was with this the new nanotech of graphene oxide, and uh they utilized it to help a mouse that had a severed spine. They put one drop of that on the spine where it was completely severed and it couldn't use its bottom legs, and within minutes it started reconnecting the spine and allowing the hind legs to actually work on the mouse, and it was like physically more like well and like active than what it was prior.
that's amazing.
Now,
Oh,
they found ways to also control that stuff with, different frequencies and 5G and stuff like that, apparently. So, quote unquote. But spiritual, soon the technology and spirituality is really going to meld, is what I feel.
yeah.
On, on
I can see that too. And we could talk a whole other hour on all this. I'd love to maybe chat again at some
Future
point.
episode.
Future episode on all that. But I know we are coming up on the end of our time together, and I unfortunately am losing daylight. As you can see my face getting
I
darker
apologize.
and darker.
Also on our end, we could have called it a little earlier. It has been 43 minutes now into the call, so it is coming to the end of our time. And if Hannah, if you found any more questions or anything to ask real quick before we let her go, I'll give you your time.
No, I'm good. I think y'all covered a good amount of information. Nicely
Okay,
done.
thank you. And thank you, Nicole, for being here with us. It's been a pleasure talking with you and really connecting about community and what it is that you do for your community. And hopefully we have some of our viewers come and join your community. It sounds like a beautiful one to be a part of. I know I'm going to check out your Facebook group now. So
Thank you.
um, absolutely, thank you.
Yes, I'm already part of it, and I'm already part of the Mystic membership as well. Definitely, anyone who
You're
is
my diehard in that group, like showing up when no one else shows up.
hey, you got to show the sister some love, and it gives me a minute, like even if I don't pay attention the whole time, it's that self-love aspect where like I know I'm taking at least 1 or 2 seconds in that full hour to like just breathe. But no, you give a lot of great information, and thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you both so much.
But
I just
yeah,
remember before we let you go, though. Do you have any live things that you do for anybody?
Do you mean like master
Live,
classes or like in
like in
person?
person events?
Oh,
Like that?
yeah. So that was one of the other things that I was being called to do this year is in-person retreats. So we just got back from our second in-person retreat this year.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's a beautiful container. It's usually 4 days, 3 nights, and it's all intuition, energy healing, manifestation, magic. We joke we dance around the fire naked, but we don't actually do that. And although we might in the future, I'm not going to say we won't. And next year, because I already started casting vision for next year, there were 12 retreats that came through. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's one per month, which sounds crazy. So we'll see what actually happens. Maybe some of those will be online or shorter ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, do you know, could you give our audience where maybe they could find those? Is it just on your website or on your Facebook group?
Yeah,
Or?
so those get released as they're coming through one at a time. So I don't have a page that just has all the retreats because they're just inspired ideas. But if you really want to check out what I have going on, you can join my Facebook group. I'm always dropping information in there. Whenever you take the quiz, it'll sign you up for my email list. So I drop all the information in the email list as it comes through as well.
Awesome.
Most definitely. Well, all right, we will let you get on to whatever else it is that you need to do. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Nicole. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate all of the knowledge that you've shared with the audience as well.
Thank you both. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
You as well.
Okay.
Well, I think that was quite well.
I thought that was a pretty good show too.
Yeah.
I thought that print went pretty dang well. Even without the intro at the beginning to get us all pumped up with our jazzy music and all that, you know.
I'll fix it in the future. We'll have our music back if you want it.
Yeah, we got to just re-edit all of our graphics with community fundamentals rather than laws of community.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But yeah, you know, thank you everybody for viewing live who viewed live. I saw quite a few people come in to this episode today.
Yeah, I think it's
people I've seen pop in
I
and
know,
out of.
that's what I was gonna say. It's our most popular. Thank you to Morningstar, who I'm pretty sure is the one person on YouTube still sticking around.
Yeah,
we appreciate you and everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Morningstar, because yeah, I think you're one, maybe the second person on YouTube that I've noticed pop in and comment possibly on any of our shows. So thank you for being active on YouTube, on our YouTube, and giving on there and being supportive and engaging with us. Definitely very appreciative. We love to see the same people come back too. So if you come back for a future episode, we'd love to see you come back.
Definitely, yes. Do what?
What? Sorry.
I was just gonna say subscribe and turn on notifications because we're not sure when we will be on in the future. But we're definitely gonna try to be on a lot more.
Yes, and I'm gonna start doing lives. This is okay. I'm gonna let everybody here know. I think we mentioned it last week, but I am gonna start doing some lives here and there on the YouTube page. I would like to get a little bit of that going and start talking with you guys a little bit more. We tend to cover stuff surrounding self-love, self-empowerment, empowering others. I have a segment every few weeks called Homeless to Home Free, which I'll probably start trying to do a little bit more than just every few weeks. Now that we can kind of schedule it out on our own schedule. I interview those that have been homeless or are currently homeless and are striving to be best themselves that they can be and become successful as they can. Those that have been homeless and have started reaching their success and started seeing the changes in their lives. I myself have been homeless, so I tend to really kind of fit with that episode. She does her self-love and self-empowerment, which a lot of times will stick with the occult sciences and
Yep.
start sticking. She talks about a lot of healing and spiritual things. She with Crystal Dragon Illumination, her business, she does different different healing services. She does tarot readings and uh, makes some like tea baths and candles and wire wraps and stuff like that. So that's her thing a lot more than mine. Um, and yeah, I talk more about just kind of what it takes to build the community a little bit more and you know all of the more physical aspects to it if I can. But yeah, we kind of do that good balance between us. Thank you for the question. It was a good question. Um, Also, you said I had a trailer with a frozen toilet, but I can't fully read that for some reason.
It was a
Uh,
step up from the shed.
oh,
Is what it says.
resting. Um, but that's definitely a step up from a shed, yeah. If you had a trailer with a frozen toilet, um, you know, and sometimes living in a trailer can be kind of like being homeless. I mean, really depends on the situation, the trailer that you're living in. And I've known some people living in some trailers, and they were technically homeless. I mean, it definitely the way that they were living, definitely like basically homeless. So, um, but yeah. Anyways, uh, we have been on here for 51 minutes, 52 minutes, just about. So we're gonna let you all go. Love you all, and once again, thank you, Morningstar. And hopefully we will have you back again. And if you want to reach out to us, you know, if you are an entrepreneur or you've dealt with being, you know, basically homeless or anything like that, you're part of any organization that helps your community or anything like that,
Or you
reach out
just
to
do.
yeah, reach out to us for being a guest or something at some point. Anybody watching, reach out to us to be a guest if you want to be a guest at some point in our shows, as well as you know, reach out to us if you want to be a sponsor. There are sponsorship opportunities that we're offering. We're gonna kind of remaster everything once again, like I said, just because everything has laws of community on it, um, and we need to take that off. But yeah, thank you guys, and we will see you when we see you next. Hopefully, it might be next week. It might be the week after. It might be
Tomorrow.
January. Might be tomorrow. But we love you, and thank you for joining us.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.